morning and welcome my wonderful viewers for always staying tuned to your Cactv. I am your host, Modo Dominic, and with me in the house as usual.
I have the, sorry, I have the follow to good
It's
morning.
allowed. That's what happens when you've had enough rest.
Good morning, engineer. Good morning, Modot.
Good morning.
Good to see you people.
Good morning, my people.
Hope you are enjoying the strike.
Good morning, everybody.
Obviously, it's not something to talk about because the traffic I encounter coming down here is a no-no for me. You know, as much as I would have loved this to take effect, but the challenges we have to go through during this process is not just it at all. So, and I think it's not something I really want to talk about right now.
Well, on my way, there was no traffic. It was all smooth. I'm enjoying my life.
I can imagine. Engineer Ola, how are you?
Not bad this morning.
I'm sure you didn't face the traffic I also did.
There was no traffic.
Hey, so I'm the only one. I'm the only external candidate.
They are protesting on Modot's way, not on my way.
It's okay. Thank you guys for staying tuned as usual. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at what we have on the newspaper review for today. Still your morning dew. Go nowhere. Yes, welcome back from that quick break. So first would take a quote that we have for today. So
our quote for today is from the book of Isaiah 40 verse 31. It says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." The Bible is a book of wisdom, and it's speaking here as regard depending on the Lord, hoping in the Lord, resting in the Lord, irrespective of what the situation we are going through, either as an individual, as a country. Our rest must be in the Lord. We must always find strength in the Lord, and that's the only way we can soar like eagle and run and not faint. There is a lot more to happen in the world. There will still be more distress. Imagine the Sumerian time, there was famine like this one. But those that stayed with the Lord, they were the ones that still came across the ease that later come to those people. So wherever you are watching from, I like you to hold on to Isaiah 40 verse 31, which has literally established that our strength, our wholeness, our healing, our joy, our happiness is in the Lord. Let's rest on Him. Thank you.
all right, thank you so much for that wonderful quote. So quickly, let's take a look at what we have in today's newspaper review. So first, our first story will be coming from the Punch newspaper. And this says, subsidy talks, Labour shuns federal government, begins protest as oil workers down tools. The two-day meeting between the federal government and the organized labor ended in a deadlock on Tuesday, with the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress leader vowing to begin a nationwide strike protest against the removal of fuel subsidy. This came as oil workers under the aegis of Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association began a definite strike on Tuesday. So that's the first story we'll be taking from the Punch newspaper. So, Engineer Ola, let me start with you.
Well, we are back at it again. It has become a very frequent occurrence in Nigeria that at the beginning of every new administration, we will go on strike. On what? Because of the petroleum pump price. There are other issues. But I can say that NSC don't go on strike because of this increment in school fees.
Okay.
They don't go on strike. Our senators are earning so much money.
And they didn't go on strike.
Will not go on strike. We will not have light in our area for 3 months. We will not go on strike. Only on petroleum prices.
So what exactly is happening?
So to me, this is not the right time for us to go on strike. It's a new government, like previous administrations. It's a new administration. Let's see what this administration has in store for us. He said, this is what I want to do. If he fails, we will hold him accountable. He has not done anything where we still want to go on strike. I'm part of the Labour people, so there's nothing I can say. I will support them. But when you see from my own opinion, I do not think the Nigerian Labour Congress is not the right time for them to go on strike. Many pages are uncovered. Because when you look at Nigerian society today, look at the way we feel. There is no money everywhere. You are telling the market woman that who relies so much on daily earnings to go on strike. Averaging in every home in Lagos today, let's talk about Lagos, maybe 2,000 naira every day to survive the whole family. And that money is not in the bank. It's not in any safe. He or she must earn that money before going back home to feed the children. How will they survive? It's a new government. And he spoke with us on Tuesday, and that was yesterday also. He spoke with us on Tuesday and he told us these are the things we want to do. Let him start. Somebody who has not played a match, who has not lost a match, you are blaming him. So what about if he plays the match and lost the match? I just hope that is one thing. The second aspect is that Labour Union, do they have continuity? Now they are now demanding for better life, which is natural and which is okay. Will they finish what they have started? Will it not be that tomorrow Labour is calling off the strike without achieving anything? It has happened before. We have seen that. So I don't want them to say, oh, we are organized in crime. That Nigerian Labour Union are organized in crime. When they go to a negotiating table, we will not be there. They discuss with the government. They say government has promised that he will do this, he will do that, he will do blah 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 blah. They will sit back again. After 2 years, they will come back again and say government has failed to do what government has promised to do. After 2 years, we will go on strike again. So we have to be very careful this time around. Everywhere in the world, after pandemic, the world economy
is still trying to adjust.
It's trying to adjust. And then at our very close to our door, our neighbor, there is a group in our backyard. And that's another problem that is coming up gradually. It's like a smoke that is coming up. So we have to be very careful. Let us allow the president and see what the president will do for what he has said he will do this time around. And this morning too, I heard that Lagos State government has, made it that every BRT fee has been slashed to 50%. Somebody was telling me this morning that from Ikorodu to Victoria Island now is a 300 naira BRT. That is subsidy on transportation. I said it. I said the government can give us subsidy on transportation, and the government said, okay, I'm going to provide 3,000 buses with CNG. That is we are using compressed natural gas for these buses. People are saying they are not enough. Let us see if the government is going to do it before we can criticize. Let us see what the government has in store for us. Then we can now say, oh, you are not doing it.
If it's enough or not.
It's not for us. Oh, it's not good for us. Oh. Then we can go out and say, okay, we want to strike. But now, this is a new regime that has just come into power. Barely 2 months, Nigerians are on strike again because of the price of fuel. And we all know that this fuel is not available in Nigeria. We are not, the Congress will not go on strike because of the fuel price. The fuel is in Nigeria. We have crude oil in this country. Why are we sending crude oil out of the country to refine? This new administration is probing NNPC now, also CBN. How have you been managing Nigerian petroleum resources before now? So I think we have to be very, very careful so that the already damaged economy will not become worse. That's my take on that.
Thank you so much. So, Dr. what do you have to say?
You see, I will start with a Yoruba adage that says, "Tí ó bá nídìí, obìnrin jẹ́ kúmólú."
Okay.
In other words, there is no flame
Without fire.
without fire.
Okay.
I would say there is no way to justify poverty, because it always has consequence. I remember while PDP was in power, the present government were the ones organizing protests at the time to every policy or increment that may come up. And I doubt there was an increase up to 100 naira on fuel. But now see the increment we are having, though it's caused by subsidy, and the effects of that subsidy removal had unleashed poverty on people, and people will fight back. It is unfortunate that they don't have the cooperation to hold a strike that we used to have it back then. And why is that not happening? Because the chief hosts are in power. But the president that came out to speak, I think on Monday, I was mentioning it Tuesday, but I think it was on Monday, 7 p.m. He addressed and said these are the ways they felt would work,
make things better.
Make things better. And the governor of Lagos had also spoken. I pray other governors will emulate that, and that way we can all enjoy whatever subsidy we are earning in the area of transportation in Lagos at the moment. But beyond that is that there is consequences to every actions we make.
Exactly.
Let's not expect that people will not revolt, people will not protest, they will react. It's normal. So it's not a sin for NLC to have come out to say we are protesting. If I'm protesting, I am protesting. Only that I'm in the office. Protesting in the office. Please, protesters, let's believe what the president has said, and let's chill a little. I want to believe things will get better.
Exactly.
Again, please, I want to add something to this. Those who are in the battlefield fighting the war understand the war better than those people who are in the house. What I'm saying in essence is this: those people that are in the oil sector, people used to call them cabals in NNPC. It's high time for them to come out and tell us exactly what is happening to Nigerian crude oil. What I mean is that we have crude oil in this country, and then we are still importing refined oil into this country, and we have illegal people operating locally made refineries, modular refineries in this country, and government is not looking that way. And as an example is that vessel that was destroyed. Why did you destroy the vessel that was carrying illegal oil bunkering? Why did you destroy the vehicle? Why don't they allow us to know? And people at this the Gas Seniors Conversation of Nigeria are saying a woman factor, they are not enjoying. What are we not enjoying? This subsidy. Where is this subsidy that government has been paying for the past years going to? This present administration was able to save 1 trillion naira within a month or so. That 1 trillion naira in Nigerian currency can feed so many homes. Where has this money been going to?
Before now. So people who are responsible, who are accountable for Nigerian crude oil, they should probe them and let us know what is really going on. We cannot have plenty and we are still suffering. Yes. All right, thank you for that suggestion. So let's take a look at the second story that we have from the Punch newspaper, and this says Tinubu sends second ministerial list today. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will today send a new batch of ministerial nominees to the Senate for screening. The Punch has this in their first story, saying according to a very reliable source in the Senate, the names would either come on Tuesday night, or very early on Wednesday morning, which is today. The source exclusively told our correspondent that the names of this new batch of ministerial nominees will be read at the plenary today. So that's another story on the Punch newspaper. So let me start with you, Dapo.
Well, you and I are here. We have seen the first list, and there is nothing to fault as that, as you know, they have made a bow, they have said what they can do, or what have you. You know, I don't know if we should call this a screening or just a presentation. It's not screening. What are they screening? Somebody will have already passed before the exam. What are we now screening? So a screening is when somebody is screened and somebody is, you know, had to be rejected and sanctioned or something. That's when you will say you screen. But what we have been having is presentation. Come and make a presentation. We are
tell us about yourself.
Take a bow. Go. so we look forward to see that today. I know before the end of today, it will be everywhere in the news. You know, the names and the caliber of people that are to surface.
Will be made mention.
No, what I have to say on that is that if you are applying for a job, you must be interviewed for accessibility to assess you and know what you can do. We have seen from experience that most of them we have heard about Toronto University, Salisu Fege, what is his name that time. We have so many from the Senate. If you are going to the Senate, Nigerian Senate, you must be well qualified and you must have something upstairs, not just nobody. Some of them go there with fake results, and at the end of the day, what do they do? Do they perform? We know about one of them, I don't want to mention his name, who's always sleeping. I concur. Whatever matter they is discussed, he will come out and say, I concur. They go there to eat money, not to make money. They eat money there, where practically Nigerians are losing confidence in them, a bit by bit. At the end of the day, what they are doing, they are scrutinizing, they are asking you, if you are put in this position, what are you going to do? It's a step up. They are stepping up. It's good. But I just pray that those who are going to man the positions, different portfolios, will be able to do it very well. And again, I want to thank the president who is saying that, look, I'm not attaching any portfolio to this screening. I will decide who will man a particular portfolio. So that is then we can be able to say, oh, this person is bad or this person is good. As at now, we'll be able to say anything until when they finish the screening, whatever they are doing, and those who are successful, we'll see their list,
them in their
and then we'll see how the president will attach portfolio to their positions.
All right, thank you so much. So let's take a look at the third story that we have still on the Punch newspaper. And this says, attackers of Osun Church during vigil arrested. 3 suspects were on Tuesday paraded at the Osun State Police Command's headquarters over an alleged attack of a Celestial local church in Odu village near Oshogbo. The suspect allegedly attacked the church during a vigil in the early hours of Tuesday. During the attack, the perpetrators abducted 12 members of the church, put the victims, fled from their captors, where they ran into some hunters and other local volunteers that responded to the distress call. So this is another story on the Punch newspaper. It's quite sad that we are still having this experience of having churches being attacked, and this one that is happening in Odu, a village near Oshogbo, is really a call for attention. So let me start with you, Engineer Ola.
Well, again, that is the work of the Nigerian security people, the police department, to be precise. We learned that one of the ladies was raped by these gangsters, and I don't know what the gangster or group of armed robbers are doing in the church. What do they want? To steal from the church? They are not. We go to church to pray. We go to church for prayers. We go to church to receive blessings. People are praying in the night vigil. That means asking God to provide for them, to answer to their requests. and you go there and say, okay, there's nowhere to go except a church to go and stay. So it's not a good thing. But thank God that they were caught by the security vigilante, and these people should be brought to book to serve as examples for others.
Okay, Dapo.
The part of the story that I would like to respond to is to give kudos to the hunters, the vigilantes who, were responsible enough to, retrieve those abducted, and it's a really laudable intervention. Kudos to them, and that's to tell us that is it right that we have people who are actually paid, the law enforcement agency like the police, whose primary job is to secure lives and property. They are not part of this story, and that's not too fine. If an hunter could go after, abduct,
The attackers.
this kind of these evil perpetrators of, if an hunter who are supposed to be killing grasshopper and leopard and what have you, now they are hunting after kidnappers. What's all to be done by a police officer? They are taking their job, and it shows how at 12 we have incidents of 2 people being kidnapped that they could not even rescue, because probably there were no hunter around that place. That to tell us that something is wrong with our security system. So I would just appeal to the police to sit up, instead of stopping us, those of us that are using car, and then harassing us, because like they did to me last Friday. It is an harassment. So does that make sense? This is not edifying their office
at all.
If an hunter could rescue 12 abductors from the hand of the so-called, maybe they are bandits, who knows who they are, but kudos to them. I give it to them. And please, if you are an abductor and you are watching, does it make any sense? People went for VG. You think they are rich? That was why they go for VG. If they had enough, they won't go and be praying all night. They went there because they had issues too. Why didn't you go to somewhere that I don't understand? If I don't even go, you should join them for prayers. That since you are praying, let's pray together and look up to God. Not going after innocent people and feeling like you abduct them and be billing the innocent family and relatives that they should send money.
All right, thank you so much for that. So we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take the rest story that we have on the Punch newspaper, and then we'll look at other stories from other newspaper. We'll be right back shortly. Thank you.
be a good life between daughter-in-laws and mother-in-laws. We are going to give background information, background tips on what relationship entails. Better and godly relationship between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws.
When we are continuing in the world, the Bible says we should multiply. That is Genesis.
Instead of the daughter-in-law too, she too have roles to play.
Yeah. Yes. So.
She too have roles to play.
Yeah.
The roles of
Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. It's still your CAC TV, and this is the Morning Dew. So we'll quickly take a look at the story that we have on the Vanguard newspaper. And our first story from the Vanguard says protesters beat Oyo civil servants for defying NLC directives. Now, protesting members of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, in Oyo State yesterday, stormed the state secretariat on the second day of their protest, beating civil servants who refused to join the ongoing protest in the state. So I didn't know that it was a crime for you to want to join a protest or not want to join a protest. So having been beaten by that, I don't know what exactly is really going on. So let me start with you, Engineer.
So, like I said the other time, many homes in Nigeria are suffering. Hardly you can be able to feed thrice in a day. Now we call it 011. No breakfast, 1 in the afternoon, 1 evening. Or some homes, 101. Breakfast, no lunch, dinner. You see, and most Nigerian traders, because now we have more traders than civil servants, and most of the civil servants depend on the traders to lend them, to borrow them money. You understand now, before the end of the month. Some will buy goods on credit from the market, women, and pay at the end of the month. So most of them will not support this strike every time. Today we are going on strike, tomorrow we are going on strike. It's only when the civil servants want increment on their salary, they go on strike. Market woman will never go on strike because of the price of commodities. They will never go on strike. So there's no reason for you to start beating them. It's voluntary.
Exactly.
If I want to join your strike, I join your strike. If I don't want to join your strike, I sit in my house. Why must you beat me? It's illegal. It's wrong. It's legal. It's wrong. You have to protect that you are fighting for me and you are beating me. I don't have the stamina to come out and do what you are doing. I stay in my house. So I don't think it is a very good thing for these people to start beating those who do not participate in the protest. Okay, for example, this morning it's the same price. This transporters, they still charge the same price. And then even in the bus, when people are talking about this, but they say, "Na them Sabijare, we don't know when the strike will end, and they will not achieve anything." People are talking from experience, so there's no reason for anybody to fight with anybody because of strike. If I like, I join your strike. If I like, I don't join your strike.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a peaceful protest. So what do you have to say, Dr.?
Well, there are two sides of the coin, and it's like Engineer Ola said, I think it's very illegal for any protester to beat a fellow colleague who is not participating in a protest. Be that as it may, it's also unfair for some people to be protesting for the same cause, and some of you will now go and sit in the office and be doing the boy is good. That one doesn't make sense. So it's a very bad, it's an unprotected, unpatriotic
decision.
It doesn't make sense. Even as illegal as attacking them may be, sitting in the office too is not right. They could have sit at home and just have their innocence registered, than to now you didn't do that. You come to the office, you start, you are working. So it doesn't mean that you don't have the strength. You are showing that my oga at the top, I'm not one of them. I'm not protesting. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Sit at home. Let those that are protesting
protest peacefully.
And then let the cause be established.
All right, so we'll take a look at the second story, still on Vanguard newspaper, and this says, girl 18 ganged raped, killed in Taraba. An 18-year-old lady has been reportedly being gang raped and killed, yet to be identified persons in Yono local government area in Taraba State. It was gathered that the deceased was en route to a village in Lakwari. A family source. Okay, so this is still a story on the Vanguard newspaper, and it's so sad that this is a story that we have to read about at this very time, where we have a lot of crucial things going on in the nation right now, and then we have people still going about raping people. It's so uncalled for.
You see, everything is at the table of the security people, personnel. I think this is their failure. Because how could we are not talking about? It's not a village like that now. Even in a village, this things are not supposed to be happening.
Exactly.
18-year-old gang rape. So it's not just one man. It's not two gang. It doesn't make any sense that we have zero value for decency, for life. It's so, this story is so annoying. When I saw it, I was really disappointed. Like, why do we always have irritating stories? This is irritating. Now the medical autopsy was the one that even showed it.
That
it wasn't as if they
investigated
them. It was the autopsy that revealed that she was gang raped. Not that any officer had arrested, nobody has been arrested. There is nothing. And as it is now, it may go without, it may be this may be the last time you will hear
about the story. It's
I don't know who even helped them to get to that, because there are 1,000 of
things
cases like this that never gets to the media. Maybe one or two people help them to to bring this up, and it may not hear any fair hearing.
Engineer.
Well, my advice on that is that the police department should investigate the matter. Though the police are really trying, they are doing their job, but it's all over the world. You have raping cases in India, in Malaysia, in Singapore, all over the world. The government, through the police department, to step into the matter and investigate again. 18 of them on one girl is not a good thing at all. There's nothing to write home about that. I think the police will do something about it. They will carry out the investigation and nail the criminals and send them to jail.
Wait a minute. See, they didn't just rape her, they raped and killed her.
At the spot.
They raped and now killed.
It's really so sad. It's so sad, and we sympathize with this deceased family. Okay, so the next story says, strike, NLC behaving like opposition party, says APC chieftain. The immediate past national vice chairman, northwest of the ruling All Progressive Party, APC, Saliu Mo Lukman, has faulted the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, for attaching President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Monday night national broadcast, accusing the organized labor of the misbehavior like an opposition party. So this is a story also from the Vanguard newspaper, and the chieftain has just spoken. So let me start with Engineer Ola.
This Lukman is the former director general of the Progressive Governors Forum, a staunch member of APC. But you see, the politicians, I really will not back what he's saying 100%, but I will give him 50% support. Truly, this is not a conflict between parties. If NLC is really fighting for Nigerians, holistically, we should be able to identify that this is a just fight, not a fight that you go there to the meeting, and at the end of the day, you bargain, you negotiate, and your pocket is richer. If sincerely they are fighting now and strike, in fact, we have striked so many times in Nigeria, and only we see the end result. The government will say, okay, we are increasing the petroleum from 100 naira to 500 naira. We will go out and strike for 2 weeks. We'll come back and say, okay, we'll now make it 200 naira. What have you gained? Nothing. So that is my take on it.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll take a look at another story still that we have. Okay, now we're going to the Nation's newspaper, and this says IG warns against violence as Labour stages protest. Labour yesterday insists on going ahead with today's planned protest against petroleum subsidy removal. But Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, warned against violence. He ordered police commissioners to beef up security. Labour said the protest will start because the relief of package unveiled on Monday by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was not enough to alleviate this suffering that we are currently going on. So let me start with you, Oladapo.
Well, it is very normal for anyone to feel that, when people don't follow what you say, it's considered a rebel or opposition or what have you. So it is unfortunate that we are in this mess as it is. I don't have much to say on it.
Okay, so basically
we have discussed
the story. Okay, so today when I was coming on my way, the protest already started. I saw few of them, not few of them, they were quite in large number when I was coming. That was somewhere around Allen. So the traffic was on standstill, and we had a lot of persons turn up for this and the just like the IGP has also commanded that they have a lot of security personnel. They had them in troops. They had them in troops, and so far it has been said that the protest has been going on peacefully. So, Engineer Ola, what do you have to say?
What the police department is trying to say here is that we do not want some people without names, because in Nigeria of today, we have had unknown soldiers. Then we now see they call them miscreants, area boys. Who are the area boys? They are unknown boys to hijack the protest or the rally. That is what the IG is saying, in the sense that we are here to protect those people who are genuinely protesting, so that these people, these marauders or these
hijackers of peaceful protests,
these bad boys, area boys, will not hijack the protest. It's in line. The police is not saying you don't protest, but the police is saying we are here to protect you. so that there will be no casualties, there will be no death. It is a good thing. The police is on course and they are doing their job.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go for another quick break, and when we come back, we'll take the final story that we have. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for staying tuned, our amazing viewers. Thank you so much for being a part of our Morning Dew and newspaper review. So we'll take our last story, and this story says Niger, Russia, Burkina Faso, Mali oppose ECOWAS military intervention. Burkina Faso and Mali has warned that any military intervention in Niger to restore deposed President Mohamed Bazoum will be considered a declaration of war against their two countries. The warning went from Niger's military-ruled neighbors came a day after the West African leaders, supported by their Western partners, threatened to use force to restrain the democratically elected Bazoum and slammed financial section on the patriotics. So this is also on the last story that we have on this page. So let me start with you, Engineer Ola.
Well, you see, this problem is, I will call it in Niger as a diplomatic dilemma. You know, one of Obasanjo was Nigerian president. You know, it will singularly go to that country and say, return back the government to the democratically elected president, and it will be done. So Nigeria is now taking back his position as a leader in West African country, and is in a ECOWAS community. What our president has said is fantastic, that, and the Westerners are supporting him. What is Niger compared to Nigeria militarily? But because of what we have, that does not seem Niger, we should overlook it. Because if you look at it since 2020 till now, about 5 coups have taken place in West Africa. What is really wrong? Now, when you look at it, what is the problem? That the head of guard is a military man, of course. The head of security guard in the palace, you know, together with the president, there's a rift between two of them. And before this president will sack him, he has taken over the government. And the people are saying no, because the politicians in Niger are also corrupt. So why the military is coming is because the civilians regime is corrupt. That is the essence of the military coming into the picture. But anywhere the militaries are governing you, the military junta, and the country is not at peace. Many countries of the world will not do business with you, and you can't survive alone. Niger survive alone? Niger cannot survive alone. But Burkina Faso is saying, if you attack Niger, you are attacking us. I know the Muslim people. When we are in those days, we used to take our goods from Nigeria to Ouagadougou for the Muslim people. You know, I don't want to insult them, but I know what they can do. Even in charge, the military in charge, some years back, they don't have money to pay the soldiers. They will only tell you, come to the barrack and take your breakfast and your lunch and go back home. No monthly salary. If they are looking for an armed robber, they start shooting in the market. They kill anybody. So it's a lawless country, but now they have uranium in Niger, which means it's a nuclear raw materials, nuclear energy raw materials, and they sell to France. Now Russia wants to take over from France. Russia is coming in. Russia has promised that okay, we'll supply you ammunition. It's a gimmick. Yes, because of the world order, Russia may not will supply anything. It's a gimmick. What they are after is that they want to repartition Africa. In those days we were talking about colonialism. Now the whole world wants to repartition Africa because there are no longer solid materials anywhere in America, anywhere in Europe. If they dig again, there may be a very severe earthquake. So the only virgin land that is now remaining is in Africa. Niger has uranium, and they export only to France. France, they want to stop exporting to France. They want to start exporting to Russia. So this is the beginning of the crisis. Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso, whatever their government is saying is rubbish. You understand? If ECOWAS community areas want to attack tomorrow morning, it's going to be hands down. It's not going to be a war, it will just be a battle of a few days, and that will be the end of it. But Nigerians don't want to go to war. We are not praying that Nigerians should go to war. I just pray that our president, will be patient enough to understudy and see, okay, what is the next move. But although we have the American backing, we have the European backing, and we have the Asian backing. So I know the war, we easily win the war, but we don't want any war now because of our present situation in the country. We have to be very careful. So my advice goes to the Burkina Faso, the Niger people, and then Guinea people who are military juntas, that they have to be very, very careful because economically they will not laugh. Yes, when the whole world says we are not doing business with you again and they close their door, so you can't survive alone with Russia, and China will not support you also because nobody wants to be an enemy of America. You can see that even America itself cannot attack directly Russia. They know themselves. Saba de Saba, Tajaba Saba Ekon Saba Aja. So they know they don't want to confront each other. So why is Niger is saying that if you attack Niger, you are attacking Burkina Faso, you are attacking Guinea. All these three of them combined together, they are just like this, in the eye of Nigerian military capacity. So that's my take on that. Let's be very careful.
Thank you so much for that contribution, Mr. Oladapo.
You see, contrary to what Engineer is saying, democracy is becoming obsolete in Africa. And that is because elected officers who are supposed to make democracy the joy of the people has made it an avenue to enslave people, to impoverish people. Democracy liberates. That's what is the government of the people by the people. But it doesn't look like it.
Exactly.
And people are rebel. People are becoming rebellious. That we can't take this anymore. And that's why we have this military invasion. You can imagine, does it make sense? Now, so look at what the headline says. It says Niger, Russia, Burkina Faso, Mali oppose ECOWAS. They are saying that, okay, can ECOWAS fight Russia? Can the whole of Africa fight Russia? So if Russia is on the side of Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger, who is Nigeria to say shut up? Nigeria can't deal with Boko Haram. Now we want to extend our problem to the hands of Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger. Oh no. We have enough problem. That if we don't have anything to say, we should just shut up. It's good to be big brother. But if you cannot provide solution, just shut up. What we are supposed to be doing is, what are the grievances of the people of Niger to have made them unseat their president? We should go into dialogue with the military coup masters and sit with them around the table, a round table meeting, the ECOWAS president, sit with them. What are the issues? Not address it in this manner that we will use military on military. It will be bloody.
This is a point where we really do not want to get to, a point where we have to start another world war.
You see, there's something I want to add. You see, in the military, they have their own constitution and they have their own terms of before they fight. They have what is called rule of engagement. Sometimes you are on a mission as a military man. What is the rule of engagement? Do not attack. You are only going there to defend. You understand? If Nigerian military is going to Niger today, they are not going to attack. They are only going there to restore democracy. That is the order of the day. Either you like it or you take it, because when you look at West Africa today, like I have said, we have about 5 coups within 2020 to 2023. It's not good for the country. We remember during the time of Abacha, there were sanctions on Nigerian government. For more than 6 months, there was no petroleum at all. There were long queues at our petrol stations when Abacha was there. And we know how much money Abacha siphoned to aid this military fight. But what happened to Abacha? Even in Africa, we have witnessed so many military coups, not only in Africa. Look at Myanmar today. There is no peace in Myanmar. Look at Sudan today. There is no peace in Sudan. Because people will go hungry. Because you know when every nation is abandoning you, what happens to the populace? I may say I'm a military leader today. I've been enjoying my palace. What about my people? They are suffering. So Nigeria is not saying we are going to war tomorrow. But today we had the president of West Africa. So we must make a pronouncement. We must have a stand. That does not say tomorrow morning Nigeria is going there and say we are attacking Egypt. No, we must make a pronouncement that, okay, we are giving you 7 days ultimatum. Restore back democracy. Or we mobilize other people in ECOWAS region to attack you. We may not. We may put our soldiers standing by, but we may isolate you diplomatically, economically, financially. Okay, I want to tell you that Niger depends on foreign aids to survive. Now the world is now withdrawing those financial aids. How will people, ordinary person in Niger, maybe my family, maybe your family, anybody family in Niger will survive? This military junta will not suffer. But ordinary citizens on the road in Niger will suffer. It's still suffering. People are suffering in Sudan today. There is hunger. You know, the other time Nigerian went to Sudan and he lifted most Nigerians back to the country. Those people that are back to the country, are they? What do you know? What do you know about their status? Are they enjoying? No, they are not enjoying because they came back with nothing. Their monies are stacked in the bank in Sudan. They came home empty. So the same thing will happen to people that are in Niger too. We should stop in Africa today. We should stop this military intervention. In America, they have their own problem. Trump with Biden, that was not military intervention. The military was saying that we are here to defend the constitution of our country. The same thing in Nigeria. Nigeria today, the tribunal is still sitting because of the presidential election. That does not say we want to invite the military. The hardship is more than civilian regime, because this is what is obtainable all over the world. A majority carries the vote. That is my take on that.
You see, Modok, as we close, African leaders should go ahead and treat their people well. This is the lesson everybody should take home. It is the failure of leadership that has led to the military coup. It is not as if the people, see how the people were celebrating. Why are they happy? If ECOWAS is displeased with the coup, but look at the citizens, they are happy. The people you want to save who are happy. How do you place that? That means that the people have been maltreated and they now see a savior. To them, they prefer to have a military leader who will give them food than to stay with somebody with rope who will give them cane and hunger. No. So they are human beings, they have that right to choose. And if they stand behind their military, look at the Malians, they just dropped French as their official language. Why? It is to tell the white to the West that stay off our boundaries. We are going to drop everything that has to do with you. And these are the things that have made Africa underdeveloped. Because we live on the welfare of others, on the head of others. Is that supposed to be? And now these people want to be responsible. Russia is trying to encourage them to do so. Democracy could have offered us that. Democracy ought to be the standard of living, of governance. But we have failed the people. And now there is rebellion. So what I've said is the president of ECOWAS should sit with these rebels or the Protestants or the coup masters and say, what are your grievances?
What's the way
Let
forward?
us discuss it, restore your boss or the elected president, and let peace move on. But to say we want to use force, it is illegal, it's not fair on the side of the big brother.
Thank you so much. So your last word for the people.
My last word for the people is just be patriotic, love Nigeria, pray for Nigeria, encourage as many people as you can to still believe in this country. Everything will go well for us. Someday we will smile again.
Yes, Engineer Ola.
Nigeria, I will say, united will stand, divided will fall. Be Nigeria.
By Nigeria. All right, on this note, we sign out. And please, in all that you do, if you're going to join the labor to also do the protest, please, let's be peaceful. Let's be civil about whatever protest we'll be going about to do. It is very, very important. Our safety, our security is very, very important. So thank you so much for staying tuned, our wonderful viewers. We love you, and we always want to, keep dated as much as we can. My name still remains Modo Dominic. It's a bye from us till we come again. Same time, same station. Take care.